Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I would like to talk about the 3 worlds that exist when you are shamanic journeying. Anyone who is familiar with the concept of shamanic journeying probably knows that there are 3 different worlds that you can shamanic journey towards, and I would like to talk about them. There is the lower world, the middle world, and the upper world. For many people who are new to shamanic journeying, I would first recommend by trying out the lower world. Think of it like this. You are a human living a human experience. You have this beautiful body of yours that has been created for you over thousands of ancestors and thousands of trials and errors and survival. You are a part of Mother Earth. You are Mother Earth herself, expressing herself in human form. And the lower world tunes in to that earthly nature. However, you are also born of the stars. You are the universe in its entirety. You are a spirit. You are energy. And that is what the upper world represents. That spirit. The lower world represents that earth. And the middle world is the combination of 2 and our current realities, or our past and future realities, but we'll get to that in a minute. I always tell people that everything has a spirit. This mug has a spirit, that tree has a spirit, I have a spirit, you have a spirit, etc. So when you shamanic journey, it really allows you to speak with, communicate, and interact with the spirit behind everything. That's the whole purpose, that's the whole point. We also shamanic journey to gain wisdom, to do healings, to travel to the past, to the possible futures, and to really just understand things deeper. There is a countless amount of reasons why somebody would shamanic journey. So without further ado, let's just dive right into it. So to get to the lower world, it is within Mama Earth. So when you are new to shamanic journeying, it might be a good idea to close your eyes, visualize your room, go through some type of portal, or maybe even visualize yourself going outside, finding a tree, and going within the earth somehow, some way, some form. It doesn't matter how you get there. It just matters to go down, to go into the earth. A lot of the times I will recommend to people, if you're new to it, visualize you going through a portal into some beautiful outdoor scenery, right, in nature, and then you find a tree and there's a little door on the tree and you open it up and there's a spiraling staircase down, and you go down and down and down deep within the earth, and you open up the doorway at the bottom and there you are in the lower realm. That's a very quick and easy way to get there. If you've ever watched or read the movie/book Alice in Wonderland, or Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, that's a really good depiction of getting to the lower realm. She falls through like a rabbit hole and goes down and down and down for what seems like forever until she reaches this beautiful, magical nature setting at the bottom. Well, technically I think she goes into a room, but that's beyond the point. She goes down into the lower realm. Now, what can you expect once you get there? For like, I would say almost everyone who does this, you reach the bottom and you'll probably be greeted by a beautiful, beautiful nature scene, because in the lower world, it's all about natural materials and spirits and Mama Earth. It's like you're within the womb of Mama Earth, okay? So there's lots of trees, and whenever I do this specifically, I always end up in the same location where I go out of my exit from my my tree portal, I guess you could say, and there's a beautiful like little creek to my right side, and then there's some beautiful trees to my left, some mountains in the distance. Everything's very natural. It's not very city-like at all. If I go to the left, there's usually a little swing there, and that's where I had my first ever shamanic journey experience, where I met some of my spirit animals as well as the different versions of myself. I met, you know, toddler me spirit, not like my actual self, and child, and my angsty teen-like energy, and then my adult energy, and my elderly wise energy, and each of them had like a different animal with them. So that was the whole point of that original journey. But it's interesting because you meet like your earthly versions, if you would like. This is a really good world to go If you want to receive your power animal, meet some of your spirit animals, if any are working with you, which is most likely, meet nature spirits. And this is a place of profound healing. If you're ever feeling just tired, drained, low energy, or you're in a need of healing, for example, maybe you're sick, maybe you're injured, go to the lower world and let its energy heal you. It's a really great place to do healing. Sometimes I'll go there and I'll just visualize the energy of all these trees and Mama Earth just going within me, cleansing me, empowering me, healing. Or if I'm doing the healing for somebody else, I would do the same process, only, you know, third person, and I'm looking at the person's spirit and doing all that stuff. Interestingly enough, I also find in the lower world are some bridges to different areas, so it might not all look the same. There's like an endless amount that you can explore. So for example, when I first enter the lower world, that little scene that I told you about, there is an old man who looks different every time I shamanic journey, who is guarding this gate there. And I see a lot of gatekeepers in my shamanic journeys, and he keeps this gate to protect things like the past. So for example, if I want to do a past life healing or like view some of my past lives, especially every time I get into a serious friendship or relationship with somebody, I always go to this man and say, I want to see the most significant past life that I've had with this person that applies to our connection, to our relationship. And the gatekeeper will say, today is not a good day for you to go in here and to explore that. Or he'll say, all right, I'll guide you the way, I'll take you there. And then he'll open the gates and there's like a little stream of water, and there's like, it's like a hallway of just doors upon doors upon doors. And he'll take me to the right door, unlock it, guide me in, he'll go in with me if I ask him. We have a very friendly relationship, and yeah, he'll show me some past life, because the earth carries memories, okay? If I had a past life as a human, I might be able to look into that in the lower realm. I feel like going into the lower world is a great place if you want to view ancestry, the past, your past lives, meet spirit animals, connect more with nature, with Mama Earth herself, and let her do some healing. One time I went there and I met a spirit guide who used to have a life on Earth, who really helped teach me certain, like, I don't want to say magic, but like certain spiritual powers of manifestation, things like that. So there's really an endless amount of things you could do. I would say don't limit yourself on what you think any of these worlds can and cannot do, okay? And sometimes if you have an intention, you might go into one of these worlds, like you might go down into the lower world or up into the upper world, and you might have this certain intention, and then you meet with somebody and you're like, can you help me with this intention or whatever, and they might guide you to another world. I've had that happen so many times where I went to the lower world for a healing, and then it's almost like I felt guided to walk up a hill from the lower world, and then I was hanging out with a whole bunch of angels, and you know, it was beautiful, and then they do some healing. So it's like, okay, well, I entered into the lower world, but now I'm raising up again. So be open to the experience, be open to whatever happens. Sometimes you might go to a world and then be taken somewhere else. Next, let's talk about the upper world. Now, this is more spiritual, etheric, and a lot less nature and physical oriented. So how you get there is just by going up any which way you want. If you're new, it might help to do something very solid, like visualize a magical staircase in the room that you're shamanic journeying in, and you go up, up into the upper realms, or an elevator or a ladder. The more you get good at this, the more creative you can travel. And also sometimes if you get really good at this, you don't even have to really visualize this. You might like close your eyes, set an intention, okay, I want to see this person's aura, and you'll just automatically go to wherever you need to go. But if you're beginning, I would recommend using your active imagination to get to these worlds, to really get a feel for how to do this before you just start, you know, boom, going somewhere, okay? How I like to go to the upper world now, I have a beautiful spirit animal guide, Minerva. She is a cheetah, and she comes with me for protection sometimes, and we'll literally just, I don't know how to describe it. You ever see like Peter Pan and how he just kind of like walks on the air? We'll just walk on the air, up, up into the upper realm. And again, sometimes you might run into a gate. Sometimes I have run into a gatekeeper when I wanted to go to the upper world, and I just imagine like this big, beautiful golden gate on a cloud, and there's a guy there, you know, just chilling, and I'm like, may I enter the upper world? And he might say, today's not a good day, or you're not in the right mindset to be traveling up here. And guys, if that happens, just say thank you and go back to your regular life and carry on. A lot of times that happens to me, it's because I'm not focused enough. I'm like sitting here trying to shamanic journey, but I'm also like moving around a lot. I'm also like coming out of it and starting a conversation or things like that. And that's when these gatekeepers are like, nah, you're not focused enough. Now's not the best time. Or maybe I'll be in a very sleepy mindset and I'm trying to go in with an intention that is very like serious and something that would really help me, and they might say, you know what, come back when you're in a better mindset because this is going to be an important journey. So be open to being denied and don't try to fight it. Rejection is divine protection. But anyways, this I've noticed in the upper world, it could be so different for everybody, okay? I tend to like walk on clouds, and this is where I meet a lot of deities, a lot of Greek gods and goddesses I've noticed hang out in the upper world, but also the lower world and also the middle world. Like for example, one of my beautiful spirit guides is Artemis, and she hangs out with me a lot in the middle world. Like we will go running through the woods here in our earth as I'm shamanic journeying in the nighttime. I have run with the spirit of nighttime across the ocean. Like there's so many different experiences you can have. But anyways, this is where you might meet angels, higher vibrational beings that might not have a very physical form. They might appear as just like an energy, or they might appear as big symbols, okay, sacred geometries. They might appear as just unworldly geometry. I don't know how else to describe it. Unworldly shapes and colors and sounds, and you know, you just have to be really open to the experience when you're in the upper world. It might not be quite as grounded and physical and make as much sense as say going to the lower world might be. So just be open to whatever comes up for you. I've had a lot of interesting experiences in the upper worlds. Like I said, I talked to a lot of deities in the upper worlds. One time I went really high into the upper worlds and I crossed this rainbow bridge while I was already in the upper world, and I went off into this platform that was just in the middle of the galaxy. Like there's stars everywhere, and I'm just walking on like this kind of see-through platform, and at the end of the platform I see this gigantic holographic version of myself, and I was talking to it. So there's so much that can happen here. Traveling to the upper world is a really good place to go if you need overall guidance in your life. Think of the birds that fly above us. They have really excellent vision, and they can see the whole picture of what's below us, our life, our direction. So if you're ever feeling a little bit lost in the sauce of life and in need of really good guiding advice and wisdom, I would recommend going to the upper worlds. This is also where a lot of our higher selves hang out. As you acknowledge, the word higher self literally means like higher, like above. So I feel like because we are here in this middle earth, we are here in this experiences, we have our higher selves and our lower selves. You know, like I said earlier, we have our earthly selves that is super divinely connected to Mama Earth, but then we also have our spirit selves. And in spirit, time does not exist. In spirit, everything just is. So if you would like to meet the higher self of you or somebody you know, the upper world would be a great place to do that. And these higher beings, these higher versions, are kind of like their fullest potential. That's how I view higher selves. It's like your fullest spirit without, what am I trying to say? Your or somebody else's fullest spirit and potential, unblocked, unchallenged by the problems that we have here in the earth. So for example, your higher self would not be dealing with things like poverty or sickness or any ugliness. Like they look very perfect, in fact, very glowing, perfect individuals, and they kind of encompass our fullest potential. And so higher selves are a really good spirit to talk to and encounter if you want to evolve, if you want to become better, or if you want to see the highest version of somebody that you're dealing with and help guide them to that highest version, or just to see their purest light. And again, I would be very open to the experiences. Some people's higher selves have different attributes of different things. For example, sometimes I'll meet people's higher selves and they have like an angelic soul. Other times I'll meet people's higher selves and they'll have more of like a fae, fairy, fun higher self. Other times I might meet someone's higher soul and they are just a combination of so many different elements. Like they might have a strong water element about them. They might have a strong angelic presence in them. I met somebody with the spirit of a mermaid. They're actually very important in my life, so that's interesting. But there's just so much that can go on in the upper realms. Be open to the experience. But to summarize, it's a great place to get wisdom, a bigger picture of your life. And if you're ever feeling lost and in need of guidance, especially from spirit guides, that might be the best place for you to go. Now, let's talk about the middle world. This is our world, it's our reality. So when you shamanic journey, you can literally just walk out your front door and, like in your mind, obviously, and go and talk to the spirit in anything. You can talk to the spirit of your town. That's a really fun one. Get the spirit of the location and really communicate with it, understand it, understand the energy that it carries, understand what you can do for this town, for this community. You can speak to the spirit of a tree. You can speak to the spirit of your house. That's something I actually do a lot. And if anyone's a fan of Marie Kondo, you might have seen her do this in her show, Tidying Up with Marie Kondo, or was that the show? She'll literally go into somebody's house and sit on the ground in like the center of the home and speak to the house and feel its energies. And I don't know if she's consciously aware that she is kind of like traveling to the middle realm and connecting with the spirit of that house. But that's a really fun one. I really enjoy talking to my house. And actually, I remember one time I really wanted to paint my bedroom wild colors. My bedroom is orange and black, and I thought that was a little bit too much at the time, because at the time my whole house was like white and very neutral colors, very crisp and clean, right? We bought the house very much like new and ready to be sold. So I was afraid to paint it all these wild colors, and then the spirit of the house said, Laura, I have been existing for a century now, and I can assure you I have never had anyone come in here painting me fun colors. Please do it, I would love that. And she gave me permission to paint my bedroom those fun colors, and she said it would be a great idea. So that's a really good idea. You can also be in the middle world and travel to the past, you know, do some time traveling and kind of experience life on Earth many years ago, like beyond history. You're not limited by history, because when you're shamanic journeying, you are experiencing it. You're not like reading about it, you're not learning about it, you are in it. And sometimes when you're dreaming, it actually does take place in the middle world. Actually, a lot of the time you're dreaming, it does take place in the middle world. Like, I'll give you an example. One time I had a dream where I was in ancient Earth, like beyond history. Like, isn't it weird to think that like only like a very small percentage of humanity is documented in history? Like, what the heck happened way in the past? Like, things might have been so different. And this was a time when I saw that mermaids and nymphs and fairies and creatures of those likes actually did roam the earth right next to humans. You know, in the same world, they can talk, communicate, touch each other. And so that was a very interesting dream. And it's like, if I tell people that, they'll think I'm crazy. But, you know, there's a lot to be pondered and explored in the middle world as well. You can also get a feel for different future paths. Now, the future, when it comes to reading the future, keep in mind that there is like a limitless amount of future paths you can take. Every decision we make, we are kind of like jumping dimensions, okay? Switching realities. And so you can shamanic journey to take a forward look into your current, like where you're currently heading in the future. Or maybe you're contemplating a decision. You can take a look into the outcome of whichever decision you make, and, you know, really analyze those multiple future paths and make the best one for yourself. Shamanic journeying is such a powerful tool for anyone. There's so much you could do. I remember in my How to Shamanic Journeying video I made like over a year ago, somebody asked, like, I just don't know what to do. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't know what to do? There's so much you can do. You can literally talk to the spirit of your pets, of your house plants. You can talk to your house. You can go in the lower world and do massive amounts of healing for yourself and others. You can go into the upper worlds and meet these deities, these angels, these ancient archetypes. You can meet energies and aliens. Like, there's so much you can do. So guys, be safe and have fun with it. There is no limits to what you can experience, so do not limit yourself, all right? And also, don't even limit yourself to the concept of these 3 worlds. There might be like midway vibrational realms that you might want to visit, like the fairy realm, for example, or the physical energetic realm, for example. Like, you can remain here in the second world, the middle world, and also kind of like step through a portal to the realm of just energy and really get a feel for the energy. There's just so much you can do. Guys, don't limit yourself. Follow your curiosity. Ask lots of questions to all the spirits you encounter. Be kind, be nice, all right? Just because your society tells you that this is fake, this isn't real, does not mean you can go approach these spirits with disrespect. So treat it very real, don't be weird, and have fun. Bye.